don't know about you, but I really don't remember the last time Max Verstappen overtook someone on track. He hasn't done that for a long while. Is that because he's washed and he's awful and he doesn't know how to overtake? Or is it because he's leading the race by 50 seconds every race and doesn't need to overtake anyone ever? Well, in high spirits of Ollie Bearman absolutely rolling up and putting Yuki Tsunoda into a spliff in Jeddah, let's look at every single track's best overtake. As per usual, if you disagree with any of my takes or opinions, put it down in the comments, but as I always say, the video is done, nothing you can do about it, go cry in the comments. But whilst you're there, you might as well subscribe and like. I don't know why you wouldn't. Please help, subscribe, like, because one day the ideas will be done, every single last one of them. So join the journey, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Don't enjoy, what? Don't not enjoy the video. Enjoy the, yeah. As per usual, we're going to start in chronological order, and obviously the first track of the 2024 calendar is Bahrain, so we're going to start off with Bahrain. Let's talk about Hamilton, not the Hamilton that we know in this day and age. The Hamilton that doesn't know how to press the brake pedal, accelerator pedal, overtake, score any decent points, and has somehow managed to scam his way into Ferrari. Nah, I'm talking about the 7-time world champion Hamilton, the actual driver that is actually good at racing. Bada bop boom pow. Oh! No questions asked. I think the best overtake around Bahrain was Hamilton in 2018.
Of Lewis Hamilton, Hamilton down the inside on Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon might lose out to Fernando Alonso. Hamilton makes up places ahead.
Shoot me, I don't care. I don't think there's any better ones. He started the race out of position, which I guess is the same thing as Hamilton these days. But going down into turn 1, he decided to make an overtake. Now, fair enough, but it wasn't just one car, it wasn't 2, wasn't 3. Well, it was 3, but it was Fernando Alonso in one of them as well. There was another Renault and a Racing Point. Was it Racing Point or were they called something else? I don't even remember. Well, anyway, he overtook all 3 of them in one corner without locking up. Actual good overtake, clean, no contact, and then he went on his merry way, and yeah, he was good from there. So quite obviously for Bahrain, I've gone with 2018 Lewis Hamilton versus the rest. Jeddah up next, and I've gone with the very, very few GOATs in Formula 1. He's not even in Formula 1 anymore. But Ollie Bearman versus Yuki Tsunoda in 2024.
This is the Bearman move. Little dummy shimmy to the inside. Go on then.
Now, not only is this Ollie Bearman's first ever Formula 1 race, he's like, what, 18 years old? Called up to Ferrari literal last minute because Carlos Sainz is about to bleed out on the ground. And absolutely sends Yuki Tsunoda to the shops with that fake down into turn 1 and then overtakes him too clean. Honestly, in that dire couple seconds, he was racing like Alonso in his 40s, GOAT, fast, re-signing with Aston Martin, wow. And honestly, if I was Yuki, I'd never show my face ever again because that was embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Melbourne is the 3rd track on the calendar, so guess what? Next up, we got Melbourne. And this might not be, you know, your usual overtake, but I've gone with the 2007 race start. Hamilton,
Hamilton, we've got yellow flags at the back. Hamilton's had some manners put on him by Kubica, but he comes around the outside.
Goes around Kubica like he's a seasoned veteran, and then Alonso as well in the same corner. Alonso was probably more sad and mad about a rookie overtaking him down into turn 1 than the day he lost that championship. And well, ever since then, their history has been, quite long. Not in the good ways, but in the bad ways. In many, many bad ways. And speaking of the Alonso masterclass, we know he can pull off some mega moves, overtakes here and there. And even sometimes wheelie mid-race because he's that cool. He's still in the sport at 60 years old, uses a walking stick to get around here and there, but he's still a living legend and he's still very, very fast. All of that build-up, surely this must be a great overtake around Japan, and it is. 2005, Alonso on Schumacher.
And then Michael goes to the inside, tries to block the line in 130 yard.
Going down into 130 yard, Alonso round to the outside, Schumacher on the inside. You think Alonso's gonna lift? Nah, swoops around the outside of Schumacher, and Schumacher during that overtake was like, guess what? I'm gonna lift. There's no point of me fighting for this. I have a wife, I have a kid. Alonso's single, he won't lift, he doesn't care. And honestly, Alonso really did spit on him, disrespected him. It was big kahunas to pull off an overtake like that. China leaves me in a more predicament than the whole Red Bull lineup. Because there's honestly 2, which I have to say. 2. The first one being the absolute send by Daniel Ricciardo on Bottas in Not only is there no room for him to be there, he somehow manages to stick himself somewhere where he shouldn't be, and he pulls off one of the best overtakes I've ever seen. But it's a shame he can't overtake in 2024 to save his race career, because he's honestly chilling in P16, 17, scoring 0 points while Yuki Tsunoda is putting all the work in. And also, let's not forget 2016, where Vettel pulled off an absolute classy overtake in the pit lane on 2 cars. In the pit lane, they were going slower than the Alpines on track. And Vettel was like, nah, I'm not having any of this, and overtook both of them in the pit lane and dunked on both of them. GG.
GG's, bro.
Miami up next, and this is a track where we don't really see many overtakes because the track is awful.
Brother,
Everything is awful about it. The water's fake. Everything is just awful. In 2023, the same time Nick DeVries was in P19 and Sargent in P20, literally their rightful homes, we had Max Verstappen, who did a nice little double overtake.
And Magnussen's going to try and fight back. Now we've got DRS enabled. Say goodbye to the Red Bull. That is absolutely outrageous.
On Charles Leclerc and Kevin Magnussen down into turn 1. Wow, double overtake, so cool. That's just it. The track is too awful for there to be actual good things on it, and that's just all there is. Yeah. Imola's a track where you literally have to go into the archives for literally anything, because the track is so boring, 0 overtakes, puts me to sleep. But I still think that the best overtake battle is Senna versus Prost in 1985.
Well, he's not. Oh, not a pushing shot, but Senna still has the inside for the corner.
They're banging wheels pretty much every corner for many corners for many laps. It's just cool to see. Not many other good overtakes have ever happened around this track. It's just boring.
What the f was he doing?
In 2022, there was a great battle between the Hasses and one of the Mercedes. And if you told me in 2016 then the Hasses would be battling the Mercedes, honestly? Monaco is another track that there's no overtakes and there's nothing interesting about it, except for everything around Monaco is interesting, but the race and overtakes just really isn't.
Boring.
Hamilton on Schumacher in 2011 is an option, but kind of boring. So I've gone with 1991 Mansell on Prost, going through the tunnel, down into the chicane. Honestly, just a nice send in an old F1 car, which is more difficult to do in a normal, a modern F1 car. But yet again, there's nothing else around this track where you can... No, nothing else. That's it. So for Monaco, I've gone with the 1991 Mansell Prost overtake. Pretty cool. That's it. Canada is a track where you can either eat the barrier, more than Gorlock the Destroyer eats food, or pull off some absolute stunning overtakes. And we're talking about overtakes today, so there's no doubt about it that the best overtake was Massa 2008. Not only did he go for an absolute dive bomb around 2 cars which are already at the apex of a hairpin, he pulls it off like it's a move that happens every single day for him. 2 cars are squabbling at the apex of the final, or not the final, but the hairpin of Canada. And he's like, guess what? I'm going to put my car literally right on the inside. Half of it's going to be on the curbs, half of it's on the track. And I'm just going to pull the move off like it happens every week for me. And he did, because it was crazy. That move made everybody happy, himself probably too. It's a shame he wasn't as happy after Sao Paulo 2008. Spain is a track that you get good overtakes always, but the best overtake in my very, very humble opinion was 2017 Vettel on Bottas.
Pretend he's going right.
And Sebastian Vettel goes onto the grass this time. Sebastian Vettel.
Not only did he stuff a dummy into Bottas's mouth, because that's what he did, he just dummied him, went onto the grass and avoided the 2016 Mercedes tragedy, and just absolutely put him into... He was disrespected, that's the least I can say. Pulls off the overtake down into turn 1 and acts like it didn't happen. Carries on driving. Happens to me every day. Easy overtake, no stress, no sweat. But that crazy overtake to not even win a championship in your last couple seasons in Formula 1 in a Ferrari? Nah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Austria is also another track where you see boatloads of overtakes. And in my, yet again, very humble opinion, I think Charles Leclerc's overtake in 2020 on Perez was the best.
So far off the curve.
Here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside of Sergio Perez. God, that was late.
Now, I don't even know how the Ferrari managed to keep up with the Racing Point down the straight, because Ferrari's straight line speed was slower than the Alpines in 2024. Honestly, they were looking slower than a tractor down the straight, but he managed to pull it off. Now, it wasn't just on raw speed that he overtook Sergio Perez, but it was the dive bomb from like 50 meters down into turn 3. He didn't even leave any room for Sergio Perez to go side by side. He took the corner like an absolute Brexit geezer. He was like, nah, get out of here. He disrespected Perez in that sense more than Christian Horner and pretty much everyone else at Red Bull and around the world disrespects Perez nowadays. But I guess if you're being overtaken by a tractor, then there's something wrong with you. Off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Yeah, we all remember that, don't we? That very much hurt my soul because Charles, he could have won that race. And yeah, he didn't, which made me kind of sad. But I think we all know what's coming up. The race where Zhou Guanyu thought it was a good idea to race upside down, but forgot that there's no wheels when you're upside down and goes flying into a barrier. That same race, Hamilton pulls off a double stunning overtake on Perez and Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, cuts the chicane. Off goes Leclerc. Through goes Hamilton.
Both squabbling into the last couple of corners. Hamilton's like, this is my time to shine. Overtakes both of them. Yeah, very cool move. Now, somewhere in my brain, I really want to put Daniel Ricciardo's overtake on what? Both of the Alpines? Was it in Hungary in 2022? But I have to stop myself. Because number one, that was the only good overtake Ricciardo has done in the last 75 years, because he's been washed ever since he left Renault. Still got more wins than Lando and McLaren though, so heh. But no doubt about it, the best move around Hungary was Piquet versus Senna in 1986.
Piquet foi por fora agora. Fez a manobra. Outra vez, atravessa na frente de Senna. Senna teve que recolher.
Not only was Piquet literally on the grass down into turn 1, but he drifted to the whole section of turn 1. Didn't leave any room for Senna. He was like, no, my corner. I'm drifting through it like an absolute guy. Honestly, he thought he was DK in a 350Z round a parking lot. That's who he thought he was. And honestly, he made it stick. So fair play, round of applause. Spa is a track that provides yet again boatloads of overtakes, and there's a certain one that comes into mind. And no, it's not the overtake where Alonso flew past Charles Leclerc. But it's the overtake where Mika Hakkinen flew past Schumacher and Zonta.
Look, Michael's having to defend, and Mika, and the back marker's in the way. Can he do it? Yes, he's done it. A brilliant move there, either side of Zonta, and Hakkinen brilliantly takes the lead.
All three of them going down the Kemmel Straight. Yes, Zonta is gonna be a lapped car in a second, but Mika Hakkinen comes out of nowhere, overtakes Schumacher, swipes past Zonta, absolutely gives him a heart attack, makes the corner, doesn't make any contact, and nah. The history books has to be studied, and honestly, I'll stand by it because there hasn't been a better move since or ever, so shoot me. Please, I don't care. Zandvoort up next, and for this, I've gone, no, there's no good overtakes. That's it, cut. For Monza, I've gone with Hamilton versus Raikkonen in 2007.
In the slipstream now, that is from an awful long way back, and he gets the job done. He never bothers to wait until the second corner.
Now you might be asking, Hamilton, there's so many of him on this list. Well, that's probably because he's, 85 years old, been racing for 65 of those years, and now, moving to Ferrari yet again in a walking stick, so he should fix up. Score some decent points, maybe then you'll be back, but so far you're more washed than the waves of the Atlantic. But he definitely wasn't washed in 2007, because to pull a move like that on Raikkonen, Kimi Raikkonen, yes, down into turn 1, you have to be crazy.
What?
Not only did he have so much overspeed going down into turn 1, he locks up pretty much sideways. Raikkonen locks up, he's shitting bricks. And, yeah, well, he pulls over the overtake and it's crazy. Crowd goes wild like he's just won the championship, similar to 2021. Oh, wait, he didn't win in 2021. Got you there. Nah. In 2017, Ricciardo was known as last of the late breakers, but now in 2024, I personally know him as the last one in contention for the Red Bull seat. But to say that his triple overtake around Baku wasn't impressive, I'd have to be lying on crack or drunk, because it was.
And Daniel Ricciardo's in that fight, and Nico Hülkenberg as well, and Massa's getting sorted out by the pack, and down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. What a move!
Now, he might have overtaken 3 cars in 2017 down into turn 1, but in 2018 that was a different story. Turn 1... totally different. Anyway, in 2017, he barely locked up. He did slightly, but you're overtaking 3 cars. He broke so much later, had so much speed, still made the corner like it was nothing. Very impressive. Now, Singapore's usually a track where we don't see many overtakes, and when an overtake tries to happen, Russell can tell you the full backstory on how he did that. But Massa in 2017 was honestly very impressive. That overtake on Bruno Senna, not only was he squabbling the car, losing control, he kept his foot in and absolutely styled on Bruno Senna. Not only was it in a part of the track that doesn't exist anymore, a tight section, twisty corners, you're not meant to overtake around there. That's just a place where you're meant to follow. Probably overtake somewhere down there. Not there, not there. Some drivers think it's a good idea to pop a wheelie like Billy Perry in Austin, Texas. But that's not the best way to get around a Formula 1 racer. But one which is incredible and a goated way to get around someone is going around the outside of one of the S's. And I'm talking about 2019 Hamilton versus Vettel.
Keep it clean. Leclerc was the man struggling off the line.
And Hamilton has passed.
Not only did Hamilton scramble somehow more grip on the marbles around the outside of Vettel, it's pretty equal machinery. These days, Mercedes and Ferrari, they're not that similar, are they? Mercedes are battling the Alpines at Hasses, and Ferrari the Red Bulls, so yeah. But to find that much more grip around the outside is crazy, and that's why I think it's the best overtake ever around Austin, maybe, potentially, I don't know. Mexico up next, and this is a track where Perez could take some hints on how to overtake, because the last time he went flying. But the best overtake around Mexico, I think, is the 1990 Mansell on Berger.
The Mexican Grand Prix with Alain Prost seemingly going to win it, and Mansell going round the outside. Incredible.
The way he just sends it around the outside of Berger into P2 like it's nobody's business, like it's truly only goats can make moves like that, and it was genuinely lit. It was genuinely lit. It was genuinely lit. Yeah. Now, we all know that in 2016, Max Verstappen was pretty much a child. Goo goo gaga, I'm a baby. But now he's robbed someone else's child, girlfriend, and Ricc. But in 2016, Max Verstappen pulled off an absolute godly of an overtake in Brazil, on Rosberg, yeah.
There's a very wide turn there by Felipe Nasser, almost making contact with Esteban Ocon now. Down the Retroposta we go.
Turn 2 or turn 3, I don't know exactly what corner it is, but it's the long left-hander after the Senna S, or in the... You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely storming out. Rosberg's on the racing line. Verstappen's like, guess what? I don't need the racing line to be fast. Goes literally so far around the outside. Just swoops past Rosberg. His second proper year in F1. No, that's not meant to... No, you're not meant to be pulling off overtakes. No. We've only ever had one Vegas Grand Prix, but the overtake that is the best around Vegas is genuinely a good overtake. Charles Leclerc on Perez into what? Pretty much the final corner.
I'm trying to make a move there. There's the DRS on Charles Leclerc. He's going to go down the inside on Sergio Perez. He doesn't outbrake himself.
Absolutely sends it from a mile back on the big long straight. Pulling so many G's on him, it's honestly crazy. Ali G is in the house. Brakes in time and makes the corner, puts Perez into a nice little spliff, says shush to him down the straight, and gets a P2. Wow, you got a P2. Yeah, Perez, you are awful. Yet again, we haven't had many Qatar Grand Prix, but in the very, very few that we've had, I think the best overtake has to come out of George Russell in the sprint race in 23.
See at what point, oh, he nails it on the brakes. Talk about brave. That was one of those, what we call a block pass, send it and then sort it out.
Big move. Come on.
Not only did he compliment his own move, which is a very George Russell thing to do, it was actually a quite good move. Fakes one of the McLarens down into that little hairpin area, and honestly, nice send. Very nice. It's a shame though that turn one of the race didn't go to plan like that overtake did. And last but not least, the greatest overtake ever, in my humble, very personal opinion. And that's Verstappen on Hamilton, 2021 Abu Dhabi. We all know what I'm talking about. That was a godly of an overtake.
And into turn 5 is Verstappen, far enough back, he's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees him coming.
Yes, Hamilton was on old hards, Verstappen on new soft. That kind of determined the championship. Funniest thing of all time. I love joking about it. It's funny. Great overtake. Props to Verstappen, props to Hamilton. Not props to the FAA though, or race directors, because that was scuffed. Meow. Ooh, and it's Verstappen. Anyway, that's it. If you disagree with any of my opinions, put it down in the comments and like, subscribe whilst you're down there. You wouldn't. Please like and subscribe, please. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a safe and fantastic rest of your day, and peace.